All right, we are now moving into the next review. If you haven't done so though, you do need to go back and finish every single thing from the Unit 1 review. And make sure that you have told Mrs. Mullen that you have completed it so that she can check it off. This is all Unit 2. So as you're working, you can go back and look at your Unit 2 notes. I definitely think that 2.4 would be a good set of notes to look at because it would review how to do everything from Unit 2, but all the notes will be helpful as you're doing your IXLs. Like I said, back with the Unit 1 review stuff, it is possible that you are able to do some of this without watching the video. So if you want to just try some of the IXLs, the first couple at least, you can do that, but then come back and watch the video if you need to at any point. So let's go ahead and get started. So Unit 2 is all about solving equations. So I'm going to remind you of the couple of steps that you learned in 2.4 of the order that you should do stuff in. You maybe remember this little acronym, DCMAM. We use Don't Call Me After Midnight to help you remember the order of things. So D stood for distribute. So if you have any distributing you need to do, then make sure you do that first. Combine like terms. Remember that like terms have to be on the same side of the equal sign. Like terms do not cross over the equal sign. Okay, so distribute, then combine like terms. The first M stood for move the variable to one side. You will do so by either adding or subtracting. So if you have variables on both sides of your equal sign, then you need to pick one to move. You always move by adding or subtracting. Next, the A stands for add or subtract. The constant on the same side as the variable. So add or subtract your constant that you've got. Okay, so remember your constant is a number that doesn't have the variable attached to it, but we're focusing on the one that's on the same side as your variable. Okay, and your last M stands for multiply or divide. The coefficient. Remember, the coefficient is the number in front of your variable. Okay, so those are all of your steps. You should go in that order. We are going to look through a couple of examples. Okay, so we'll start out with a couple of easier ones and then move into a couple harder ones. So let's just go through something relatively simple. We've got 2x plus 1 equals 9. So we need to go through our steps. Remember, you can draw your line through the equal sign. You start with distributing if you have distributing. We don't have any of that, so we can skip that step. Move to combining like terms. We don't have any like terms. Remember, like terms can't cross the equal sign, so that plus 1 and that 9 are not like terms. Move your variable to one side. Well, if we look, we only have variable on the left side, so we're good. Now you move to adding or subtracting your constant that's on the same side of your variable. So for us, that's this plus 1. Right? We have 2x on the left, so also we have a plus 1 on the left that we need to get rid of. Since it's plus 1, we can subtract 1. Gives me 2x. 1 minus 1 is gone. 9 minus 1 is 8. Then you move to multiplying or dividing with a coefficient. Remember, your coefficient is the number in front of your x. For us, the number in front of x is 2. So we're going to divide by 2. on both sides. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Okay. All right. Let's go through another one here. Let's do 3 times 2x plus 5 plus 6 equals 7x plus 20. This one has pretty much all the steps in it that we need to do, so we can see a longer example. So draw your line through equal sign. So we start with distributing. So we need to distribute that 3. 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times 5 is 15. We didn't do anything with that 6, so we're just going to bring down your plus 6. Keep your equal sign. You've got 7x plus 20. Nothing happened there on the right side. Okay, after we distribute, don't call me after midnight, we distributed. C stands for combine like terms. Like terms must be on the same side of the equal sign, so we're going to look at the left. Does it have any like terms? 6x plus 15 plus 6? Yes, 15 and 6 are like terms. So 6x plus, and then we got 15 plus 6, which is 21. We're going to look for like terms on the right side. 7x plus 20. No like terms there. So 7x plus 20. Combined like terms. The first M is move the variable, and that means we need to move the variable to one side. So either move all your variables to the left or move all your variables to the right. Doesn't typically matter. I know a lot of you like to move your variables to the left, so we can do that, which means we're going to move this 7x. Remember we said when we move, we have to either add or subtract. So since it is a positive 7x, positive, you need to get rid of it. You need to subtract it from both sides. So 6x minus 7x gives you negative 1x. Didn't do anything with your 21. Keep your equals. 7 minus 7 is 0. That was the whole point. Leaves you with just 20. So we moved our variable. The A now stands for add or subtract. So we need to look at the side that our variable is on. We see that we've got plus 21. So we need to get rid of that 21. And since it is positive, since it's plus, do the opposite. We need to subtract. So we didn't do anything with the negative 1x. 21 minus 21 is gone. 20 minus 21 is negative 1. Last step, M, the last M stands for multiply or divide. You divide by our negative 1 in front of our x, which means over here when you divide by negative 1, negative 1 divided by 1 is 1, and there's your answer. Okay. At this point, you can pause the video, you can stop and to try the IXLs. I'm going to go through one more example in case you need it. Okay, so if we look at this example, it's a little bit different. You might see this in the IXL though, which is why I wanted to show this example. So we would start out with if we have any distributing, which we don't have distributing. We would look for combining like terms, which we don't have any of those. We have 3x and we have a plus 6, and those are not like terms. We would move the variable to one side, which we don't have any variables to move since we only have the 3x on the left already. Now, here's where it gets a little bit tricky. It typically says we need to add to get rid of, add or subtract to get rid of your constant. But we can't do that yet because of this 2 in the denominator. So instead, what we need to do is we need to start by multiplying both sides by 2. The 2 that we just did on the left side cancels out with the 2 in the denominator, leaves you with just what's in your numerator, 3x plus 6. And then you have your equals 12. Okay, now you can finish the way that you had before. So from this should be relatively simple. We'll finish it together in case you need it though. You would subtract your 6 from both sides. 6 minus 6 is 0. 12 minus 6 is 6. Divide by your coefficient, which is 3. Dividing by 3 on that side cancels. Leaves you with just x equals, and 6 divided by 3 is 2.